Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of MT Talk, which happens every morning during my 90-minute daily walk in the empty space in which I walk. This empty space where I do my morning walks for about 90 minutes. And in this space, during my contemplations, I dip into the emptiness inside me and wait to see what comes out spontaneously, unscripted, and I just record that as I walk. So I was thinking how coronavirus, the global pandemic, the lockdown situation has taught us a very, very deep insight. It is the coronavirus, this global pandemic with the lockdown has brought out the oneness in all of us. It has proved, it has shown that we are all one inside. Now, how did I come to that conclusion? Let's look at it. So, with all of us around the world locked down, the religious places of worship are all in a way closed down. People are not able to go to the temples. People are not going to the mosques or churches or gurudwaras or all the different places of worship where they go to practice their faith, and they congregate, they meet, they practice their faith. And now that close to 45 to 60 days people have not been able to go out there, it makes me wonder, how are they praying? What's the feeling, what's the essence of their prayers when they are not able to go to their place of worship? So that brings me to the point I was trying to make earlier about how it brought the oneness in all of us to the surface. So let's talk about major religions. There is Hinduism, there is Islam, there is Christianity, there is, when I talk about India, another major faith is the Sikhism. And of course, there are so many other faiths like Jainism and Zoroastrianism and so on and so forth, Baha'i faith, and several such faiths. So all these different faiths, religions, they have, if you have to divide them into, how their faith comes about or how their practices come about, I would say there is the mythological aspect, there is the ritual aspect, and then there is one more aspect. I'll come to that a little later. So mythologically, Hindus believe in Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, Ganesha, Vishnu, Brahma, and the other deities, Mata Durga, and Saraswati and Lakshmi. So these are all the deities in Hinduism, and there are mythological stories through which the Hinduism religion is preached, and therefore that's how we understand about Hinduism. Similarly, there are mythological stories in Islam where they talk about Allah, the Muhammad Paigambar, and the stories which describe how their religion came about and the preachings, the teachings. And they believe in Allah. And Christianity, they believe in Christ, and they have their own mythology about what happened in the Old Testament during the times of Moses, Solomon, Moses, and all the kings which are described in the Old Testament of Bible. And then there is Christ and what happens in the New Testament. So there is mythology, the story of Christ and his 10 disciples, the story of Moses and all. So mythologically, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, and the Sikh, they have their stories about how the 10 gurus, 10 masters in Sikhism, starting from Guru Nanak, Guru Gobind Singh, and so forth, had preached their religion, and therefore there is mythology involved in it. Ritually, Hindus go to temples and they join They join their hands together in prayers, offering prayers to the deities. They put a nice tika, which is like a red paste, if you will, on the forehead, and they light some lights, and they offer flowers, all the pujas that they do. So ritually we look at Hindus going to temples, joining hands, ringing the bells, doing those things. Muslims go to the mosques and bow their heads and offer their prayers in a certain manner. And Christians do the same. They go to the church and they bow down onto the altar, and cross their hands. So there are rituals involved in Hinduism which are different than in Islam, than in Christianity. And then in Sikhism also there are rituals where they tie a scarf around their head so it is covered. So ritually there are differences in the way religion is practiced in Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, and then there are subtle differences in Jains, Zoroastrians, and other faiths, Baha'i faith and so forth. So mythologically we are all different in our beliefs. Ritually we are all different in our beliefs. But ever since the lockdown happened around the world, we haven't been able to go follow the rituals because the places of worship are closed. So that brings me to the point that if we had wondered in the past that only when you go to a temple or a mosque or a church or a gurudwara and pray in a certain way, only then you will feel like you have offered your prayers to the gods. Is that the case anymore? We're not doing that, right? We are home and we are still praying. Who are we really praying to then? Are we praying to the mythological gods that we have grown up listening to and understanding their stories? Or who are we really praying? So at the core of it, when Hindus say, Aham Brahmasmi, when Christians say, or the Christ says, I am the light, I am the path, I am the way. When Muslims say, Ek hi Allah, and when Sikh say, Ek Omkar. So they are all talking about that one source, one consciousness. Aham Brahmasmi, I am the light, Ek Omkar, Ek hi Allah. They all are talking about the same essence, and that essence is the consciousness, the feeling of I-ness, the I inside me, the life inside me, the feeling of being alive, right? That's the consciousness. And all religions, they have preached about the same consciousness, but we are all kind of buried into following the mythological stories which are different from each other, the rituals which are different from each other. So mythologically we are different, ritually we are different, but spiritually we are all the same. At a consciousness level, it is the same consciousness that all religions preach about or talk about. So this global lockdown, the corona pandemic, has actually brought out that oneness in all of us, because now even when we are sitting at home, we are going deeper into that same common feeling of oneness, the consciousness which is common across, right? So the world does not really need to be divided into different religions, different beliefs, different mythologies, different rituals. We don't really need the conflict. What we need to understand is the oneness beyond the diverse rituals and mythological practices. So the world does not need a new religion or one religion to be supreme over the other. What the world needs is a common thread of consciousness that binds it all together. And I think if we deeply contemplate, in some ways, the global lockdown is pointing us towards that direction, that we are still connected to the gods we worship through the feeling of consciousness inside. So I thought this was a good topic and relevant, and the context is right to talk about it. So signing off for today. I will see you in another empty talk video tomorrow. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy, experience the emptiness outside and the emptiness inside. God bless, love and peace. Bye-bye.